I find with ancestors, it's like to be deeply understood is the healing movement. And then to bring in the well ancestors or the resources or the ancient ones to like support, because we historically have been out of touch with the support that's always around us and the greater resources that are connected to us. And for many generations of colonization and slavery, that is true, that we are disconnected from the true flow of life. And so that is ancestral work, is connecting the ones that have come before to the true flow of life and the source of love. And so that is what flows through the lineage, through the descendants, and through our own bodies.
Wow. It's really powerful to also recognize how those patterns play out in our own lives, and like recognizing that sometimes they're not ours, and we're playing out these patterns of past enactments of pain and suffering and feeling unheard. And calling in that level of healing is really beautiful. And you're right that, I mean, this happens on a deep subconscious level. And so many of us are trying to heal from this conscious layer of like reading the books, going to talk therapy, you know, doing all the right somatic this and that. And while those can get you into the body to a certain extent, it's still like your conscious mind is running the show. And especially like with the ancestral liberation, I mean, what I've seen in my own work through hypnotherapy, where we go into these deeper layers of the subconscious, is that there's layers. Like, so a lot of times that it's just the first layer we're working on of like the memories from this lifetime and how it's interacting with them now, until the subconscious mind feels safe enough or ready enough to open into the deeper layers of seeing, okay, where is this actually stemming from? So we can go back and back and back until we're recognizing this perfect coding that has always been within ourselves, right? Like we're coded for this. We're coded and wired for connection. And we can't deny that ancestry is a huge aspect of this. Yeah.
We cannot deny that ancestry is a huge aspect of this. It's so true. And I appreciate, you know, how you named just the subconscious, and what I hear in that is just being able to be with the unknown. Like that's what so much of this is. And right, when you were talking about the reading the books and the podcasts and all of that, it's like the known. And where true healing happens, I found when true transformation happens, is that moment when we suspend our own sense of what's possible and like let ourselves be taken by the mystery, let ourselves be inside the unknown, and is when alchemical properties like come to life. Well, I want to say, like, this is maybe a bit of semantics, but I really feel like it's parallel, like not past. And I feel like there's this thing of people not wanting to look back to move forward. And it's like, it's not about going back. It's because it's all present. And like, that's why the ancestral imprints are so meaningful and important. It's not because it's back there. It's because they're right here. You know, William Faulkner says, the past isn't dead. It isn't even past, you know? And we really have to recognize that we are multidimensional beings, and the depth of the ripples of what has happened before are still happening. Like they're still expressing themselves. And, you know, as many people know, they say that like energy can't be destroyed. It can only be transformed. And so the deep grief, the deep pain, the deep atrocities, the deep wisdoms of our ancestors live through us, because that energetic expression is like literally encoded into our DNA. And it's also the fabric of the air around us. And when we don't alchemize it, when we haven't especially the grief layer, because we're the closest, I find that right now, the closest realm that we are connected with our ancestry is the trauma realm. And it's not the only realm. You know, there's like the wisdom realm, there's like the well ancestors, the ancient ones, but the ones that we're closest to are the ones who have experienced so much trauma. And when we haven't alchemized that, we tend to live it through in our bodies. Like the momentum of that energy continues in the direction from which it started. And so it's a great opportunity of our lifetime, like of these moments, to transform and like change the direction of those energies again into love, again into unity, again into like the deeper truth of who we are. And so that's why I feel ancestral connection and parallel lifetimes and like all of these things are so meaningful, because as you said, like when we enter into the subtle mind, it's right there. It's like it's right there, right? And then it's like the beauty that I find in my work, it's like these, sometimes it's subtle, sometimes it's these dramatic stories, and like titrating it in connection to our our pathways, like to our nervous system, to the way our energy is right now in this incarnation, and finding the balance of like how to move with that for each person, because everyone's different and everyone's in a different place. So I want to say that. And so just moving and like touching more on just ancestral liberation, which I feel starts with ancestral connection.